As you can see, this deck is made out of 20 cards. There are 4 different suits. Here are 4 suits. The audience will now choose which suit they like. For illustrative purposes, you'll get a magic floating hand to decide. The audience will now shuffle the cards. And shuffle a bit more. Now we'll deal the cards out in pairs. And begin flipping some of them over randomly. You will now stack them together. Into a single pile. And then deal them out in a 5x4 grid. Alright, from this point onwards, it is up to you, the audience, to continue the magic trick. You can choose to flip the grid up, down, left, right, any way you choose. So for illustrative purposes again, we'll get our magic floating hand to decide the flow of the magic. As you can see, and now that the cards are all in a pile, it's time to see how powerful your magic is. Wow, they're all of the same suit. How did you do it? Before we go into explaining how this magic works, let us first explore one interesting property of this checkerboard. Consider this checkerboard. Taking any 2 arbitrary tiles of the same color, one as the start point and the other as the end point, you can see that it takes an even number of steps to reach the end point, no matter what path is taken. Here are a few examples. As you can see here, this takes 6 steps, which is even. This is another example, where it takes 12 steps, which is also even. For tiles where the start point and the end point is of a different color, it takes an odd number of steps to reach the end point, as you can see from the following examples. In this example, it takes 7 steps, which is odd. And in this example, it takes 13 steps, which is also odd. Not convinced? This property can be easily proven through mathematical induction. Consider a path between the start and end tiles which are of the same color. Let n denote the number of opposite color tiles between the start and end tiles. Proposition 1. The number of steps it takes to travel from the start to the end tile is 2n for all n greater than 0. We attempt to prove this through mathematical induction. We first prove the base case for n equals to 1. The total number of steps is equal to 2 because it takes one step to travel from the starting tile to the opposite colored tile, and one more step from that tile to the end tile. We assume the proposition is true for n equals to k. We prove that the proposition is also true for n equals to k plus 1. We consider a path with k opposite colored tiles in between. Therefore, the number of steps to travel from start to end is 2k. By constructing a new path with n equals to 1 opposite colored tiles in between, taking the end tile of the previous path as the start tile, and appending it to the previous path, we can see that the total number of steps is 2k plus 2. Therefore, exactly 2k plus 2 steps are taken to reach the end of a path with k plus 1 opposite colored tiles in between. Since the base case n equals to 1 is true, and pk is true implies pk plus 1 is true, by mathematical induction, Pn is true for all n greater than 0. Proposition 2. It takes 2n plus 1 steps to reach the end of a path if the start and the end tiles are of opposite colors. We first take one step to move to an opposite colored tile. Now that the current and end tiles are of the same color, by proposition 1, we know that it takes 2n steps to reach the end from the current tile. Therefore, the total number of steps taken from the start to end is 2n plus 1. We will now attempt to draw parallels between this property of the checkerboard and our magic trick. As you can see, if the card starts on the black tile and ends on the black tile with the coin on top, it will have flipped an even number of times and it will remain face up. However, if it starts on the white tile and ends on the black tile, it will have flipped an odd number of times and its final state will be face down. This works in the same way if the card starts on the black tile. Therefore, when we fold the grid, the cards are actually being considered as moving towards the target tile, and depending on what color the target tile eventually is, their final state will either remain or change. Remember when we told you that the flipping of the cards after we dealt them out in pairs were random? Actually, it's not. In this next section, we will show you how they are arranged. As you can see, there are only 3 cases in which the pairs can be dealt out. If the pair consists of both hearts, they are dealt out with the card backs facing each other. If the pair consists of both non-hearts, they are dealt out facing each other. If the pair consists of one heart and one non-heart, then they are both dealt face up with the heart card on top of the non-heart card. By rearranging them in this manner, this ensures that all the hearts that are face up would be on the same colored tile, and the heart cards that are face down will be on a different colored tile, and vice versa for the non-hearts card. As you can see, this is what was actually going on while the flipping was taking place in the first part of this magic trick. Now, we will demonstrate what was actually happening to each individual card while folding the grid during the magic trick just now.